Jennette Mccurdy has been an extremely hot topic this entire week since the release of her memoir, and honestly, since she even announced that she was coming out with a book, it has been making headlines. Since she made the announcement that the title of her book was going to be I'm Glad My Mom Died, which is obviously a very controversial title if you do not know the backstory of her life. And it caught plenty by surprise and drew loads of curiosity to her book. The memoir includes several shocking revelations from Jennette's years working at Nickelodeon, things that happened on set and behind the scenes between her, the crew, and her mother. The disturbing claims made in this book have drawn the attention of the media and the public, wanting to know more, especially as to why she named the book as she did. In regards to her mother, Jennette described her mother as controlling and abusive. She had all this pressure put on her to support her entire family, and it all started at such a young age. She was 6 when she began auditioning for acting jobs, and she wrote about a time where she expressed to her mom that she wanted to quit acting because she had an uncomfortable audition, but her mom told her she couldn't quit because this was her chance. This was their chance. And her mom was hysterical. And she said that her mom had only stopped crying once Jennette told her mom that she would continue with acting. She told ABC in an interview this week following the book's release that she felt like her mom was living through her and thus wanted to control every single part of her life. Her mom had always had dreamt of being a famous actor and had become obsessed with making her a star as well. The way she described her mom's obsessions with control are extremely disturbing, having said that by the time she was 11, her mom had taught her about calorie counting, had bleached her hair, and whitened her teeth. And she said it wasn't until her mother's passing that she was fully able to heal herself from the years of control her mom had over her. Her mom had completely ruined her eating habits, and she had suffered a lot when her mom was still in her life. She had even shared disturbing stories about how her mother did not allow her any form of privacy, not even when she was bathing, and she was not in ownership of her own body, it felt.
You talk about basically having out-of-body associations, out-of-body experiences when this is happening to you.
Yeah.
What do you think was going on?
I've tried to understand, and that didn't lead me anywhere productive. I would just spin my wheels trying to understand my mom's motives.
This continued until you were 17?
Yeah.
And you describe in the book that you felt violated.
Yes, I absolutely felt violated, and eventually accepting that was the most, I think, integral piece to my own healing and recovery.
After her mom's passing in 2013, she said she underwent intense therapy to try and find who she was as an individual, since that had been completely stripped from her.
My whole way of life, my whole way of going through the world I was operating through this lens of my mom wants what's best for me. Even after she died, I'm nothing without my mom. I can't do anything without my mom. I'm incapable, I'm incompetent. What would mom want? What would mom think? What does mom need? That accepting that she was abusive would have meant reframing my entire life. And that felt impossible. I couldn't go near that for a long time.
In the book, Jennette detailed the exploitation she faced at the hands of someone named the Creator. And the Creator was a major topic of discussion in the book. There's much speculation around Dan Schneider being alleged as the Creator. Dan Schneider is a former Nickelodeon executive. Nickelodeon announced in 2018 that they would no longer be working with Dan, and there were several publications that had reported on complaints about Dan's alleged behavior. An internal investigation had been done within the company, and they claimed to have found that he was difficult to work with and prone to tantrums and angry emails. But the network says that any other misconduct was not found during the investigation. Despite that being what the network claimed, for years now, his name has been thrown around with accusations of being more than just difficult to work with, being angry. There were a lot of things being said about him allegedly being inappropriate, but he has denied any of those claims that have been said about him. In her book, she opens up about her negative experiences working on set for the Nickelodeon shows that she had. She had remembered a time where she was visibly uncomfortable on set, and she recalled that during a kissing scene with her co-star Nathan Kress, she was being shouted at by the Creator and had to reshoot the scene several times, even though she was very uncomfortable. Jennette also wrote about being pictured in a bikini at a wardrobe fitting and having the Creator encourage her to drink alcohol despite not being of drinking age. She says her mom was present for some of these things that happened while working on set, but would brush anything negative or concerning off as that just being a part of Hollywood. Jennette also wrote about her experience on the Nickelodeon show Sam and Cat, where she was specifically talking about her experience working alongside her co-star Ariana Grande. She was brutally honest with her feelings about Ariana and the time they shared together filming the spin-off to iCarly and Victorious. She said while they were filming, she grew to resent Ariana as she regularly missed filming to go sing at award shows, record new songs, and do press for her upcoming album. She described that the dynamic of the show now left her to angrily hold down the fort. She feels as though the environment she was put in and the people that were working around her are definitely a reason as to why she grew to feel these feelings towards Ariana. She said she was very upset because she was having to personally turn down movie roles, saying that she booked 2 feature films during iCarly, but had to turn them down because the iCarly team wouldn't write her out of episodes to go shoot these movies. Meanwhile, Ariana was able to have this schedule that catered to her music career. They gave her the ability to go and do these things, and they would write her out of certain Sam and Cat episodes to give her the ability to prioritize her music. And so obviously that led Jennette to feel this extreme jealousy of Ariana. She said that at the time she was frequently making the mistake of comparing her own career to Ariana's, saying she couldn't help it at the time since she was constantly in the same environment as her. But looking at it now, she says she is in a place in her life where she is happy to say she would not be trading positions with anyone, and she is happy where she is. Following her exit from Nickelodeon, she claims that she was offered $300,000 from Nickelodeon to never speak publicly about her experiences there. And she says that she declined that offer, and thus she was able to write this book.
That sounds like hush money to me. Not doing it, not taking it. And then I do remember leaning against, I think I talk about this in the book, but I lean against my bed and I'm like, well, shoot, that could have put my nieces through college. Like, that was some good money. But I am ultimately proud of my decision there, wherever it came from. Even if it was informed by self-righteousness, I think that, I did something that was really hard to do. Oh my God, it makes me emotional. I'm proud of myself.
Why? Why proud of yourself?
I think I've chosen a path of integrity. And it hasn't always been easy.
Former Nickelodeon stars such as Josh Peck have even come out to praise Jennette's book, and Josh said, "I think she is incredibly brave to tell her story and to be as honest as she is. I think one of her great talents is her wit and how thoughtful she is, and as soon as I was able to pick up the book, I did because I really wanted to see the way she told her story." The day the book was released, he even wrote on Instagram saying, "My friend Jennette wrote a book and it's out today. She's brave, funny, and thoughtful in ways few are. Get it today." A big response from the book has also come from her former co-star Miranda Cosgrove. Since the iCarly reboot on Paramount Plus, fans of the original show were sad to learn Jennette was not going to partake in the reboot. Fans kind of speculated on her relationship with her former castmates and was wondering if one of the reasons why she did not want to be a part of the project anymore was because she wasn't on good terms with the people that she was working on, since obviously people have heard through the grapevine that she did not have a good experience at Nickelodeon. People were wondering if that transferred over to her relationships with castmates, where she just had issues with people that were working at Nickelodeon, but not necessarily the actors. But that was just speculation, and the real reason why she did not want to be a part of the reboot was because she had stepped away from acting. And in this book, she clarified what her relationship is like with those castmates from iCarly, saying that with Miranda in particular, she was a source of camaraderie and emotional support for her, and says that once iCarly ended, she was literally so emotional that last day, not knowing what her friendship with Miranda would be because they had become inseparable. They were best friends and she loved her. And in a recent interview with Entertainment Tonight, she says that they do still keep in touch. They are on good terms and she's always going to have a special place in her heart for Miranda.
Oh my God, I love Miranda to pieces. I always will. She has such a special place in my heart. She helped me grow as a person and heal as a person. And I hope I did the same for her. And I just love her so much. The last I heard from her, she said she was so excited to read it and sent just a very supportive, lovely text about reading the book. I can't wait for her to read it. I think she'll really like it. I think she'll laugh a lot. I think she'll relate to a lot.
Miranda even came out in an interview with the New York Times saying she had no idea what Jennette was going through at the time they were filming iCarly, saying when you're young, you're so in your own head. You don't expect things like that from the person in the room who's making everyone laugh. All in all, Jennette has been receiving tons of support from the public following the release of her book, and she has expressed a feeling of freedom from putting it out. This story really makes me think about the state of the entertainment industry, especially for children. Over the years, more and more child stars have expressed disappointment for those who didn't stand up for them at the time when they felt like they should have been protected in some way. And I do think right now the public is really aware, or tries to be aware, of how child stars need to be protected in the industry. And I do think that a lot of people are more aware in the TV and movie industry, but honestly, this all just makes me wonder what is in store for the child stars growing up right now on YouTube, where there are zero laws in place protecting them. There are laws in place for television and movies, but these stories are still getting out that those laws are not protecting them all the way, and things like this have still happened. And I think a big conversation that people have been realizing more and more is that children from these family channels, or children on YouTube with their own channels, they are the face of these channels. There's definitely a big concern for that side of the platform, and not even just that, but kids on TikTok, families on Instagram. I think the unknown is definitely very concerning to people, as the platform is still very new and nobody has really grown up on the internet. These family channels, these kids are not old enough to tell their story if they liked YouTube, if they felt like there was anything that should have been put in place or anything like that. No one has spoken out about it because everyone is still young, and I think a lot of people are just seeing a lot of things and hearing about a lot of things, and they're concerned. And there has been a lot of talk of people online saying that they really do hope that there is stuff put in place soon, at least something revolving money, because hoping that these kids that are the stars of a lot of these family channels at least receive some sort of compensation for their work that they are doing by being on camera. Because yes, some of the parents say that they put the money away for their kids, and you can hope and pray that they're being honest and truthful about that, but there's nothing regulating that they actually have to do that. So it's just something that stories like this, when you hear about Hollywood media, television stars, these young kids talk about their experiences, it really makes me think about what's the future going to be for children that have grown up on YouTube. As for Jennette, I'm happy she seems to have found peace and is in a good place now with all that has happened. There's obviously much more detailed in her book, and I encourage anyone who is curious to go out and read it. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.